Hey guys, my name is Nick, and welcome to my channel where I cover all things entertainment. Whatever you're watching, I'm making videos about. And on Saturdays, I like to take a look at my favorite streaming service, Shudder, to find a solid horror movie recommendation for you guys, or a solid whatever movie recommendation, because that's what I love about Shudder. They do zero gatekeeping. They have all different kinds of titles that explore the darker elements of cinema. And this gives me a great opportunity to talk about one of my favorite 90s gems, Jawbreaker. I think I love every single movie that came out in 1999, like every single one. Jawbreaker is a dark teen comedy about the four most popular girls in school, Courtney, Julie, Marcy, and Liz. It's Liz's 17th birthday, and her friends decide to celebrate by ripping her out of bed early in the morning, stuffing a jawbreaker in her mouth, tying her ass up, and dumping her in the trunk of a car. When they pull her out, they find that she choked to death on the jawbreaker, and they've just killed the most popular girl in school. So what do? Try to make it look like an accident and go about their daily lives. This movie is kind of Mean Girls meets I Know What You Did Last Summer, and there's no creepy fisherman stalking them, but I would argue that going up against Rose McGowan's bitch-tastic Courtney for prom queen is equally horrifying.
You taught me to rule. That's right. Rule, bitch. But don't forget who made you.
The vibe of Jawbreaker is 1950s housewife turned 1980s dominatrix in a candy-coated 90s high school world. That's not an aesthetic you just get anywhere. I'd say this is exclusively for gay guys, but I think a whole lot of people could enjoy Jawbreaker. It all depends on your sense of humor. And what works so well for me is that I think director Darren Stein did an excellent job nailing the tone he was going for. The social commentary and the comedy work perfectly for me. There's this constant juxtaposition between the bubblegum la la land these girls are living in with the harsh actions they are willing to do for self-preservation. This isn't an entirely deep movie, but I do like the way that it comments on how society wants these girls to behave and how they actually behave. Being a teenager in the 90s is enough to drive you mad, am I right? It's such a fun dynamic between this group of ladies who all have a great opportunity to go wild with these fun roles. Rose McGowan is on fire as Courtney, the queen bee and wicked bitch of the West. Rebecca Gayheart plays Julie, the sweetheart, the only one with a conscience. And Julie Benz plays Marcy, the one in the middle who is pretty much willing to go wherever the wind blows. Then there's Judy Greer's character, Fern, or Violet, the nerdy girl who discovers what happened to Liz. And in order to keep her quiet, the other girls decide to give her a makeover and offer her a seat at the cool girl table, and she's willing to do whatever in order to have her moment in the sun. Jawbreaker has been linked to other dark teen comedy cult classics like Heathers and Mean Girls, and Heathers really laid the groundwork, and I love it. But I gotta say, Mean Girls straight up stole a lot from Jawbreaker, like the three-way calling attack, the bad girls taking in the good girl and turning her into a bad girl, the anorexic girls table at lunch.
Don't think we're anorexic or something. We're not. That's reserved for the Karen Carpenter table.
If you love Mean Girls, I can't imagine you not liking Jawbreaker. This is the part of my notes when I just wrote Pam fucking Grier. She plays a detective who comes to the school to try and find out what actually happened to Liz, and it's a small role, but it's always good to have Pam Grier show up in your movie. I have to take a moment of appreciation to honor maybe Rose McGowan's best performance as the evil Courtney. She is channeling some kind of teenage Betty Davis in the best way possible.
I made you, and I can break you just as easily.
And she has most of the good lines in this movie, but she definitely has my favorite. I killed the teen dream. Deal with it. And Judy Greer also gets to let out her inner bitch. She's kind of like the John Waters version of Ty from Clueless. While you might be able to find some other movies similar to Jawbreaker, this was the first one that I think really let the female characters just go bonkers and have a good time. In Heathers, Winona did some murder business, but she was mostly egged on by Christian Slater's character. In Jawbreaker, it's pretty much all female characters, and I like how they all represent the different personality types that we see a lot of movies that feature all male casts do, you know, just saying. It's been over 20 years since Jawbreaker came out, and people still look down on movies about women behaving badly, like the hallway monitors of the lamest high school. Sure, we've gotten Mean Girls and Tragedy Girls since Jawbreaker came out, but How is it that we're only getting one a decade? What is that? Can we get some more of these, please? Video on the best dark comedies on Hulu coming soon. I also have to say that I just love this movie as a time capsule of the 90s. I mean, the outfits and the hairstyles, the color palette, it all is just so pleasing to me, just on a childlike level. But it also has such a great soundtrack that mixes 80s favorites with contemporary girl punk. Jawbreaker might not have as many layers as its title item, but it's the type of comedy that turns the morbid into the hilarious. It features great performances from some of our favorites, and it captures a kind of comedy that we don't really get very often. Can we just get some more bitchy movies, please? Please? I'm gonna give Jawbreaker a 3.5 out of 5. It does have some technical faults that I have to point out. There are some editing and continuity errors, and the performances are quite campy, but it overall works so well for me. I think the filmmakers totally accomplished what they set out to do for the most part, and it's just one of my absolute favorites. What did you guys think of Jawbreaker? Happy Shudder Day, folks. Thank you so much for watching this video. I greatly appreciate it as always. Let me know what you're watching on Shudder. That's always fun. Don't forget to like this video on your way out. That's it for this one, but I won't stop you from watching another.